Hey guys, what is up? Fluffy Ninja from War Crew Paintball and War Sports Chicagoland, here with a bit of a different video, that's for sure. I know you guys are used to me being in front of the camera, and that's fine. I want to just make sure that this is all going okay. But after playing this weekend, we have our gear to clean. So really what we need to clean is our marker and our loader. So doesn't matter where you play or how often, really. After a weekend of play, you should probably always take care of your gear. I know that I'll be taking care of the gear that I used, and then possibly the gear that Krista used, just to make sure that there's content if you guys like this, which I keep being told to do more paintball videos. So I think after a day of play, after a weekend of play, your gear is all grimy and dirty, so you want to make sure that you take care of it. So first we're going to start out with our loader. This is the Dye LTR loader. Honestly, pretty good loader for $100. So it's definitely one of my favorites. So as you can see, there's a little bit of gunk in there. Always have some microfibers handy just so you can wipe that out. And the reason that I'm shooting it like this is because I can't hold up stuff to a camera. I just forget, like when I'm cleaning stuff, I'm cleaning stuff. I'm not really focused on making sure that it's camera ready. Like I'll go down here for a lot of stuff, or I'll go up here. Like my hands just move around and get the job done. They're not really focused. See, like right there, I'm out of frame. But, you know, right there. So if you've always wanted to see, I guess, my crotch in a video, there it is. So you're welcome. So got our top shelf clean. Like, it's not super important that you go in with like a power wash or anything like that. Like, just, you know, wipe the insides, make sure there's no paint or any kind of oil residue or anything like that that is left over from the weekend. Wipe off any of like paint that still is on your loader, like there's some there. And we're just gonna go around this rim, just make it look nice. There's a little bit in there. And then we want to make sure that the fingers of our speed feed are relatively clean. Just so if there's paint on these somehow, when you're going to load, the paint, you know, doesn't come into contact with any of the oil or anything like that that's already in your loader, because then that can affect your accuracy when it's going through your gun. So, and plus, if your loader is dirty and you're loading paint through it and then it goes into your gun, it can mess up your gun even worse. So just want to make sure that's all clean. So the top half is good, and then we have our lower tray. So we want to make sure that this is all clean. Just make sure there's no oil on it, really. Yeah, because that's probably what's going to affect your loader the most. Unless you get shot inside of it or break a ball inside of it, there's just going to be oil, really. So clean all this out. And then depending on, you know, it's like if you had problems with your loader during the day, maybe you replace your batteries. I didn't have an issue, even though I'm using Amazon's basic bitch batteries. Fed pretty well all weekend, or at least the day that I played, because I only played Saturday. So yeah, everything else looks okay. You take apart the internals. If you don't know how to take apart your rotor, I guess this is a good way to learn. But rotors are not that bad. So like you can see, it's got like some white stuff and some just junk, really. I don't know how there's white stuff on it, seeing as how we were shooting orange paint, but I don't know. Don't answer that question. So, make sure you clean off your little gear spindle thing here. A lot of people might notice this. There's usually a finger there just to like hold whatever extra paint in the stack, just so it doesn't like back up or whatever. Those usually break off like right away for most people. Like, I don't think I've ever seen somebody with it on there after like a couple of times playing. So let's just adjust it a little bit, maybe. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, just because like I'm up here like in my face basically cleaning stuff, so just to make sure that it's clean. And then you got your paddles and such. You want to make sure you clean in between those. Okay, wipe out the inside, wipe along the edge and the top. And then this guy shouldn't really require any cleaning. Wipe it down if you want to. Don't really have to. And then go ahead and throw that guy back in. Tray. Middle spindle thingy. Slide that guy on top. Oh, see, I'm gonna click down. We can click that guy into place. Test it. Works. Awesome. Get it snapped back together. A little dirty on the side, but that's what we use our spray for. And there you go. Now your loader's all back together. Loader's clean. Good for the next time you're going to play. So, set that to the side. And then we have our marker, of course. You want to make sure you have lube or oil if you need it. I probably won't need the oil, but I've got it out just in case. One thing I did not grab was a barrel swab, but I don't think I need it because I didn't really break any paint. I had one thing where like I shot my bunker way too close, and then it started affecting my shots. So always just, kind of look down your barrel. There's a little spot in there that needs to be just wiped out, but let's go ahead and grab a barrel swab real quick. Mine's just in my bag here. Alright, Jesus. Make sure you use a somewhat clean barrel swab too. Don't use the one that you were using on the field, because then you're just gonna basically sandpaper your fucking barrel. Okay. And that's all good. Let's go ahead and grab this. Wipe off anything that's on it. I mean, it's mostly just a barrel wear. Kind of happens to the tips, basically. Wipe off your threads, just in case they're dirty. See? I don't know if you can't really see that, but there's a bunch of gunk on the threads. And that'll, it'll just kind of, I mean, it could make your barrel seize up. It could just, make your barrel just act like a dick, maybe. Right, throw our swab on the ground. And then we're going to remove our marker from the case, of course. I just like to tighten that up so it's not flopping all around. There's really not much on the outside. Go ahead and just wipe it down, really. I didn't get shot in the gun, I don't think. I think I got shot in the loader once, and I got shot in the tank once. And then the rest of it was just to the face and body. But I was able to save the marker for most of it. You know what, we're just gonna... Well, we'll do that later. But, so, the main things on your marker that you really want to take care of, your regulator and then your bolt. For spool valve guns, anyway, that's really what you want to do. So, pop our bolt out. There's no gunk on it, really, so that's nice. And then we'll get to the reg in a minute. So, engine of your marker. This is just kind of basic maintenance. If you want to watch a full teardown video, go find one, I guess, because it's not really necessary. I mean, you don't really have to get all the way down through all of this that often. It's more like do it, here and there, but it's not super critical. So what I'm doing right now is wiping off all the old lube. Please remove all the lube from your marker before you start applying more lube, because that'll just gum it up even worse, and that's a bad time. So I lubed it right before we went and played, like literally the night before. I made sure that it was good to go. But, after playing with it, some stuff slips and, you know, lube is worn down after shooting however many paintballs. So just make sure that it's nice and clean. And then take your lube. I use the GEO lube. Like, this is how long I've had it, because this was like almost full when I got it, like however much their measurement is. And then you really just want to get enough to coat your O-rings. I mean, that's what I do. I mean, you want to, I mean, it doesn't have to fill the gaps on both sides of your O-ring, but it's, you know, just make sure that your O-ring is properly lubed. You don't have to drench it. You don't have to dip the whole fucking thing in the lube. But just make sure that, you know, like, use kind of common sense on that. So on most spool valve guns or closed poppet guns like the Axe and stuff like that, there's O-rings here, or, well, no, I guess it would just be spool guns, because closed poppet guns don't really have like a can or anything like that. So, oh no, I take that back. The ETHA had one, the original ETHA. So you want to make sure that you lube the O-ring. That's, oh god, I don't know how to do this with a webcam. So there's an O-ring in there. You can kind of see the black going around the inside. Make sure that's lubed, and then lube like the inside of this passage as well, because this is what your bolt's going to be traveling on. But really, it should be traveling on the O-ring, but you know, who knows. Oh, and you also want to inspect all your O-rings. Make sure that there's no nicks, no cuts, no butts, no coconuts, etc. You know, just make sure everything's, you know, proper. Everything's good. You know, if it's not 100%, replace it, man. Like, you don't really want your weekend ruined because you saw a nick in an O-ring and then you were like, nah, it's fine. Like, come on. Okay, pass through a couple times. Like, you just kind of have to. Like, I think that's like GEO owner law. Like, you just have to. You got to do that. You just have to do this a couple times. I don't know why. You just have to. So, this isn't a super important O-ring, but it is a sealing O-ring. So you want to make sure you just lube it a little bit. And pass that back over that. Screw it back together. Okay. You can, I can anyway. I don't know if most people can, but you can really tell if it's lubed properly. It'll like kind of stick to your thumb a little bit if you draw it out, and then you'll hear like the poof of air almost when you push it in. So you can tell when when your bolt is properly lubed. So, and we'll just go around these can O-rings just because. And that's it. Your bolt is pretty much lubed. Wipe off your greasy, dirty fingers. Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and just boop a little bit around that one. Again, not a super important O-ring, but it does help seal it. And then we're going to check. So before you put your bolt back in, double check, make sure there's nothing in here. Grab your swab again if you want to, and just kind of clean it out. Don't just ram your fucking swab through, because then you will tear out your detents, and that is no goo. So clean it from both sides, really. And yep, just make sure, like your barrel. God damn, this is really hard to do with a webcam. Make sure it's like you can just kind of see through it. You don't see anything too like sticking out or whatever. So that is your bolt lubed. Then we're gonna move on to the AT pipe and the reg. So just go ahead and unscrew this. Push that back down. Alright. And There you go. There's your regulator completely disassembled, basically. Oh, I mean, except for in here, but unless you hear a hissing noise from there, don't fuck with it. So, really just want to clean this out, make sure there's no damage in there. If there's damage in there, you got a problem. But should be okay. Yeah. And then again, just wipe off all your old lube. You don't want it gumming up your reg, because then you're going to get puffing and just bad noises. So, like there's some gunk behind this piston. Behind the piston O-ring. So, oh god, loader, please. I'm going to grab the dental pick, which is not in here for some reason. I don't know where I put that actually. Huh. I don't know. I could have sworn I put it in that right port. Huh. Oh. So I'm gonna try and get this guy off. I know I had the dental pick. What the fuzzle, bro? Toothbrush is always good too for like cleaning your grips and stuff, but not super important right now. But okay, yeah, I got most of the gunk off. Oh, there we go. Pop that O-ring off, just because I can see some gunk. They got trapped on the lube, basically. So what happens is if fields don't flush their airlines, which a lot of them kind of forget to do, they should do it every week. Most of them don't. They do it like maybe once a month. So, like maybe every 2 weeks. Maybe I'm exaggerating it every week, but at least every 2 weeks. More than once a month. Really, you should flush your airlines, because that's when like carbon buildup and stuff like that kind of gets passed through the compressor. Like oil will go through it, and like I don't know if you've been to a field where like all of a sudden they're like, oh, our lines are gummed up or whatever, and that's because there's shit in the lines. They kind of just builds up, kind of like an artery. Like it'll just kind of gum up the stuff, and then you got bad times. So all right, so we want to make sure that's lubed. Make sure the piston's lubed just a little bit, not too much. Oh, take your spring. You can kind of see it on the spring. Like the little bit darker parts on the spring. That's just like gunk on the spring. That's not like, it's not like super bad wear or anything. It's just gunk on the spring. You pretty much wipe it off. There's a little bit of wear on the spring, but it's not too bad. Yeah. So you might be able to see that, like right there, right there, right where my finger is. Maybe not. But there's just like a little, for some reason it keeps blowing out the light. I don't know why. But there's just like the tiniest bit of like black gunk buildup that just, it happens over time. Like it's nobody's fault. But fields should definitely, make sure their airlines are properly flushed, especially for a big event. That is like super important. Alright, so want to make sure the outside of this is lubed. Make sure there's no fucking hair on it. So these two O-rings, again, sealing O-rings. Want to make sure they're properly lubed. Want to make sure that, there's no nicks or anything. Throw a little bit of lube in this collar thing, just for S's and G's. Boop. And that should be good. Yeah. And then this guy. Oh, dicks. My fingers are all lubey, so it's not catching right. I thought I was spinning it, but my fingers are just spinning around it. And then on your AT pipe, go and wipe off that lube. And then there is an O-ring in here that you shouldn't really ever have to worry about. Unless you're getting a leak from your AT pipe, then check on it, take it out, make sure, it's not nicked or anything. Again, I ran maintenance on this gun, like, literally the night before. Right now, we're just kind of cleaning up, re-lubing for the next time it's going to be used. Like, it could sit on the wall for another month before an event, and it'll be ready to go as soon as, it's loaded up, really. Oh, I forgot. Just Planet Clips did their front grips with, like, kind of a hard plastic. Can't really get around it. I guess you can if you really fucking shove it on there. There you go. But it wouldn't be able to get past this part. It would just get stuck. So, there you go. So, again, lubey fingers screw stuff, I guess. I don't know how to say that. So, flick it back on there. Boop. And then what you really want to do is grab your tank after this, air it up, make sure there's no leaks, but we don't really have to do that, which is nice. So, yeah. And that is, oh, I just realized, and you guys have probably realized too from watching the video the whole time, I didn't put the last part of the loader back in. Derp. Make sure that's in. And then you put your loader back together. Just noticed it. My bad, guys. But, yeah, there you go, man. That is your marker and your loader all cleaned up and ready to go for your next weekend of paintball. Again, toothbrush on your grips. Just a little bit. Get some of that dirt out of there. I was going to take off the grips and try to get the dirt that's like, it always builds up right here at the top of the grips, like between the grips and the frame, or the grips and the body, and it's just really hard to get in there, but toothbrush, always. And then, of course, check your fucking battery levels. Make sure it's good. Whoa, buddy. Wipe off the screen. The screen's a little bit dirty, just from the dust and stuff that we were playing in, because it was super nice weather Saturday, so all the rain had dried. Everything, instead of being mud, was dirt. Go ahead and pop that back on there a little bit tighter. And there you go, man. That's pretty much it. So, thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing. And I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.